Hello everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie and today's case I'm going to be talking to you about is Liliana and Daniella Moreno. So they both are Hispanic and they've been missing since 30th of the 5th, 2016. They were missing from Hialeah Gardens in Florida. Liliana's date of birth is 24th of the 12th, 1973. Her height was 5'4" and 173 pounds. She has black hair, brown eyes. She may also use the last name of Moreno Ramirez, and she has a mole on her upper left arm near her shoulder, and her ears are both pierced. She was born in Colombia. Liliana and her daughter Daniella were last seen in Hialeah Gardens, Florida on May the 30th, 2016. They have never been heard from again. Liliana's sister Yamileth Moreno Ramirez reported them missing on May the 31st after she was unable to reach them, and found out that Daniella hadn't been to school in almost a week. So when the police had checked in on the Moreno's apartment at 107th Avenue and Northwest 50th Street in Doral, Florida, they found that the door was locked and Liliana's Toyota Corolla parked outside. Liliana's purse, wallet, passport, driver's license and credit cards were in the apartment, and there was food that was sitting out that was on the stove, and the police stated that the state of the apartment led them to believe that Liliana and Daniella had left in a hurry. There was no indication of a struggle, and the investigation immediately suspected foul play that was involved in the case, because they didn't believe that Liliana had left her purse and ID behind. Gustavo Alfonso Castano is a suspect in the Moreno's disappearance, and he was the last person to see them before they had disappeared. And he knew that Liliana, because they worked in a similar field, that he is in construction, she is in architecture, and he is Daniella's biological father. But he stated he never had a romantic relationship with Liliana. Castano then stated that maintained a cordial relationship in order to co-parent Daniella effectively. But Liliana's family stated that Castano was married to another woman when Daniella was born, and that he only recently became involved in his daughter's life. And they described Liliana's relationship with Castano as very stormy, and stated that he threatened to hurt her and her family, all of whom live in Colombia, and that she contacted the Colombia consulate with concerns about Castanos. Castanos stated that he met with Liliana and Daniella at their apartment at 11 a.m. on May the 30th, and that Liliana was cooking at the time, and had invited him to share their food, but he had declined, and asked them both then to come with him to this Home Depot. He had then said that they had got into a very heated argument with Liliana while he was driving them there, and she had asked him to pull over and let them out. Castano had dropped them both off near Florida Turnpike at Okeechobee Road. This was the same area where they had lunch 2 days before. And Castano had said that Liliana scratched his right forearm as she was getting out of his van, and he drove to the nearby warehouse where he had worked and did some work there. They had turned around and went back to the place where they had dropped Liliana and Daniella off, but they weren't there anymore. Castano said he never saw Daniella and Liliana again. He called Yamileth in Colombia and the next day to ask if she knew where Liliana was. Something Yamileth had felt very strange, since, had never called her before, and Yamileth contacted some of Liliana's friends in Florida and asked them to check up on her and Daniella later that day, and then she had decided to go and report them both as missing. Castanos' warehouse is in the same area where he supposedly dropped off the Merinos, and it was burglarized shortly after they had disappeared, and a neighboring business, Discount Prince, was also burglarized at the same time. Discount Prince had a closed-circuit surveillance system and cameras installed on the outside of the building. The only item stolen from the business was a digital video recorder, which is a DVR. The owner of the Discount Prince said that on May 31st, Castano had gone to the business and asked about the surveillance system and inspected the DVR that was later stolen. Castano's cell phone records then indicated that he was in close proximity to his warehouse at that time, and it was burglarized. Police found some paperwork related to Liliana in a dumpster near the warehouse. On June the 2nd, Castano contacted and spoke to various relatives from Miami, Florida, through New Jersey, telling them that he loved them and he would give $5,000 and a credit card to his own ex-wife. He had also rented a van from Home Depot in Hialeah Gardens, and it concerned that he may have been planning to harm himself. Police had then issued a county-wide BOLO, be out on the lookout, bulletin for him and the rented van. At 11:40 p.m., Castano was located in a distraught state inside the van. It was in a parking lot of the Home Depot that he rented it from. He inflicted superficial cuts on his neck with a box cutter. As law enforcement officers arrived on the scene, the police subdued him with a taser. One of the taser shots hit him in the face, and Castano lost his right eye as the result. Liliana has a degree in architecture and design from the Universidad del Valle in Cali, Colombia, and she has worked as a contractor and a project manager with D&L Construction Group. At the time of her disappearance, the investigators believe that she and her daughter were murdered, but no one has been charged in her disappearance. The Kent Police Department number is 253-852-2121. Daniella Moreno was born on 10th of the 4th, 2007. She has also been missing since 30th of the 5th, 2016. Her height was 4 foot and she was weighing roughly around 50 pounds. She was wearing an orange shirt, blue shorts and blue shoes. She has brown hair, brown eyes. She has pierced ears and used the nickname Danny. So Miami-Dade Police Department investigating agency number is 253-852-2121. The police launched a massive search for the mother and the daughter, searching dumpsters, lakes, wooded areas, and a warehouse. Liliana's brothers Eduardo Moreno says Gustavo is responsible, and my dad, he died waiting for an answer, and I hope we can find any answer that I owe to him, he had said. So that is what I could find so far on this case. I couldn't find any other resources. So I decided to do a tarot card reading on this case, and like on my other videos, I done four questions on each. So number 1, what happened to Liliana Moreno? 2, what happened to Danielle Moreno? 3, who was involved in Liliana's disappearance? 4, who was involved in Daniella's disappearance? 5, where is Liliana Moreno? 6, where is Daniella Moreno? 7, what is the final outcome of Liliana's case? And 8, what is the final outcome to be of Daniella's case? Okay, so what happened to Liliana Moreno? We have the Two of Swords. So she had faced a very challenging decision. She was very unsure what to do. She tried avoiding and making a choice, and tried avoiding someone due to causing some conflicts. Reverse Hierophant. She was on autopilot and had her own inner voice telling her what to do. She went on to her own way. There was a run-in with the authority or conflict with parents, and trusting herself for once. 8 Wands. There was a struggle to be resolved and being very fearful about some form of an unknown place. Page Wands. There was a young person who was inclined to give anything a go and had some excitement. They were very curious and they were very intrigued to see what was to come and whom she'd come in contact with, and if she's someone that she's seen once before. Empress, there was a nurturing energy and being around luxuries and around a beach, a forest, a lake, or a mountain. There could have been a pregnancy that was involved. Reverse Tower, there was a spiritual awakening or upheaval and clinginess to something or someone that was not good. Ace of Swords, there was a breakthrough and a certain message or news that was coming out involving trying to seek justice. Reverse King of Cups, there was a male who tried pushing Liliana's buttons, causing anxiety, depression. He was very unpredictable with his outbursts. He had blackmailed Liliana and tried to control her. Three Swords, sadness, hurt, heartbroken and disappointed. There was something painful that ended coming out in the blue. Strength, some confrontation and determination to overcome uncertainties, but bringing calmness and patience to the situation. There was fears that was to be overcome. Seven Wands, she was challenged and worked very hard to get where she was. She defended herself and something came as a surprise. Someone was in the way. There was a lot of courage. There was confronting in front of whomever posed as a threat to her. Queen of Swords, there's a female who tried seeking some truth and tried getting straight to the point of something. Someone felt very intimidated for a certain person. King of Wands, there was a male who was very fiery and outspoken. He was determined to be part of whatever Liliana was going to be involved with. Reverse Seven of Pentacles, someone stopped investing in something. Either they quit or they packed something in. Reverse Ace of Cups, there was emotions being kept and withholding their own emotions. Reverse Judgment, there was past regrets and wanting to clear any guilt or shame. Two Pentacles, they had juggled their priorities. They may have had multiple jobs. Reverse Seven of Cups, there were several choices that they had faced. There was some overwhelmness and needing to try and focus on what they needed to focus on. What happened to Danielle Moreno? Reverse Justice, something that wasn't morally right had happened. Something was being hidden and there was some consequences. Someone was not willing to take full responsibility for their own actions. Reverse Temperance, there was a risky business and imbalance being brought into someone else's argument. Reverse Eight of Pentacles, there was good well-being and happiness and getting things done. There was something that was lacking. Reverse Page of Cups, there was a secret being kept in case something didn't go as planned. There was immaturity and being very much dramatic and having a lot of tantrums. Five of Cups, there was a situation that didn't turn out as one had hoped, causing disappointments, regrets and a loss. There is blaming oneself for what had happened and is to learn from their own mistakes. World, there was a travel overseas, a new opportunity. There was also a closure and a form of an accomplishment. Four Pentacles, someone had kept you close and been very possessive and controlling. Reverse Moon, there was fears and being around negative influences and struggling quite a bit. Reverse Two of Pentacles, there was some struggle and stress and feeling alone. Reverse Strength, she was very vulnerable, was having a lot of tantrums and lashing out to those form of aggression that was involved. Who was involved in the disappearance of Liliana Moreno? Reverse Ten of Swords, there was an ending where someone was not ready to face up for something that was really painful that had happened. There were some burdens or wounds that was pushed deep down. Six of Cups, there's someone from the past who had happy memories with Liliana. There was happiness and rekindling. They had some cooperation, maybe involvements of a pregnancy. Reverse Seven of Pentacles, they had stopped investing in something they didn't see any success in. They had put a lot of effort in, love in, and hard work into it, and came to the conclusion that it is not worth their time anymore. Nine Wands, there was some adversity due to standing strong, being resilient. There was some struggle and challenges. Someone made things very difficult due to jealousy and insecurities. Who was involved in the disappearance of Daniella Moreno? 6 of Wands. There was one happy, self-assured people that was proud and was involved with being supported and admired and involved in victory news. Reverse 2 of Cups. There was a breakup and a falling out and not having any trust. Reverse Hierophant. There was a run-in with the authority or having conflict with parents, going on one's own path and not needing anyone's approval. Reverse King of Cups. There's a male who causes a lot of upset and drama and triggered and pushed people's buttons. They were very unpredictable and had blackmailed and manipulated. Reverse 3 of Swords. They had some regrets and been through a rough patch and wanted to apologise and become a peacemaker. Tower. There was an unexpected change and chaos. Some truths had been revealed. They were being very wise and resilient. Who was involved in the disappearance of Daniella Moreno? Reverse 10 of Swords. So there was an ending, something really painful had happened. Reverse 6 of Pentacles. Someone took advantage of Daniella. There was a lot of taking and not enough giving. Reverse 7 of Cups. There were several different choices that was faced and was to choose what was very much important. Chariot. There was a journey and being in a vehicle. Some action was being challenged. There were some boundaries that was put in place. Where is Liliana Moreno? Reverse 5 of Swords. There's a lot of arguments and realizing no matter how hard she tried, she will always keep losing. There was someone who was very negative that may have been an ex and made things a lot difficult. Reverse 5 of Wands. There was internal conflict and unsure what it is that they wanted with important issues. There were some disagreements. Reverse 4 of Wands. There was some inner harmony and stability. There was a breakdown in the family. 6 of Cups. There was some happy memories and being connected with someone from the past. There may be a potential pregnancy and also starting afresh. Reverse 2 of Pentacles. So there was some struggle and a lot of stress and leaving some loved ones feeling alone. Reverse 3 of Swords. There was a rough patch and going on a path of recovery and wanting to make some peace. 8 of Cups. There was walking away, being very disappointed and turning their back on something or someone that was very much unfulfilling, and it brings around a lot of pain. Where is Daniella Moreno? Reverse Lovers. There is a couple that had grown apart that had a lot of challenging relations. Reverse Ace of Cups. There was emotions being withheld in fear of getting hurt. 8 of Wands. There is some struggles that was to be involved and there is having fears about the unknown. Reverse 5 of Wands. So there was issues due to not knowing what is what and thinking, shall I stay or shall I go? There was some hostility as well. Reverse 9 of Pentacles. There is some money involvement and learning new things and reflecting on one's own self-worth. Reverse Hierophant. There was conflict with parents or authority figure and running on autopilot. What is the final outcome to be for Liliana Moreno's case? Wheel of Fortune. There is to be a turning point in the case and involvement of an overseas trip. Reverse 10 of Pentacles. There is something that is at risk and involvement with not being satisfied. Empress. There is to be near a forest, a beach, a lake or a mountain or around beauty of nature. 9 of Cups. There is to be some smugness and also feeling pleased where there is to be improvements underway. Chariot. There is to be a journey and action being taken and possibly a victory. There may be a vehicle that is linked to this also that's going to be found. King of Cups. There is a male who's to gain some control over their emotions and is to have some boundaries in place and is to make some smart decisions, and he's also a father figure. What is the final outcome to be for Daniella Moreno's case? Reverse Judgment. So there is someone to clear any guilt and shame and regrets. Wheel of Fortune that is to be an overseas trip and a turning point in the case. Okay then, so that is today's case for you. If you enjoy my videos, please like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until next time, take care.